Support for 100 Watts in a Wire is provided by Bioenno Power. If you're looking for a power solution, check out Bioenno Power, offering the best performance lithium phosphate batteries for your ham radios. Visit bioennopower.com. That's BIOENNOPOWER.com, or contact dealers nationwide. LDG Electronics provides state-of-the-art antenna tuners for every amateur need. An LDG desktop tuner works automatically with nearly any station up to 1,000 watts. LDG Zero Power tuners are ideal for portable or mobile use, as they consume almost no current and can be powered by internal batteries that last up to a year. LDG tuners are backed by our 2-year fully transferable warranty and our legendary customer service, the best in the industry. Visit us on the web at ldgelectronics.com.
And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Well, hello, and welcome to 100 Watts and a Wire. This is our podcast. We appreciate you. Episode 321. This is called Microphones Hams Use. Okay, and I've seen many of shows or different videos where we talk about use this one, use this one, use this one. It's a very personal thing. We can talk about audio for a long time, but tonight we're going to talk about what you use, what hams use, not just sort of, us talking at you about what you should use. And it's a very personal thing, and I've been around audio for a long, long time. And I can tell you that every voice is different. Every room is different. Mm-hmm. The ham thing is different from the broadcast thing. You got people, all this sort of stuff. So we'll talk about that sort of thing today on episode 321. Steve is here, Sidecar Steve, W7UDI. He is here and in the house and fresh off a fire call, but you made it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little busy today. Got a couple of calls, but got it done, and we're back.
Steve and I are drinking. It's more of a, well, that's what happens, but it's a little more of a celebratory type of thing. Mm-hmm. I had a birthday today, 12/12, born 12/12. So cheers, everyone. I hope you've got a little something going.
Cheers. Happy birthday, Christian.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. People asking about the countdown music, which I'm digging a lot here. This is from, I'm calling him now Wyatt the Composer. Wyatt Weatherford, okay? Now, you know that name. You're saying, what is that? That name sounds familiar. It's going to be a household name like Burt Bacharach one day. I can feel it. But, Farmer Rex, we call Farmer Rex. That's his son. So his son is composing this music and putting it out. He's got a YouTube channel. I will share one. If his folks are in the chat, drop it in there. If you dig that, especially that song I was playing in there, I was telling the guys who are running tonight, they've started the net off. It makes me feel like I'm walking through the streets or the alleys of New York, and I'm getting ready to, do something. A much younger version of myself. Now I'm just ducking in the car or in the horse and riding out and getting out of there. But thank you to Wyatt for putting that great grooves together and sharing it with us for our countdown. Appreciate it very much. So by all means, drop in your YouTube channel. If you guys dug the music, people were mentioning it, so go ahead, put it in there. Let them know where they can find your stuff. Appreciate it. Steve, the age-old question, and one that I think is such a, it's not a hot button, but it's so personal. You've got all these different degrees. People will say, what I use, and this is how they sound exactly to me after I've been drinking all afternoon, is I use this little, this little microphone does me fine, $20. And then you've got, I use a ribbon mic, on the ham radio. You're like, there's a country mile in between, and then you've got your preferences, and then you've got what people come to know, like they just kind of go, what's he using? And and that's fine. Mm-hmm. It's fine. It's their big range. And I know you well enough to know that I don't think we've ever had a show where we tell you what to do. I think it's one of those things where it's like, we just had, 5 minutes ago, not even 5 minutes ago, Don, who I don't know if I can show you his picture now, but he's working. He's running somewhere. We've got nets going. He's on a JS8 call 7.078. That's actually Dwayne. Where is Don?
That's Dwayne there.
Don's working somewhere else on FT8, I think, right? And he says, Christian, do you want me to do? And the answer was like, do whatever. Do whatever works for you. I mean, like, Steve knows what's going on with the nets. He's net manager. I don't know, but I would imagine whatever's cool. Like, do what makes you happy.
Whatever mode, whatever. Just try it. Try it all. Let's see what will work.
Man.
And especially there's so many digital modes right now. This JS8 call, FT8, JT65. God knows what it is. And
Right.
there's all kinds, and it just depends on who's on and what mode people are operating. And I've been hearing about this FT4 now, which is starting to kind of come out of the weeds. So, yeah, try it all, whatever works, and
Right.
and we'll go from there.
Same with
we got
the
our
microphones.
standards. The only thing we're missing is someone doing CW.
That's what we need. Maybe Ian will come back.
Do a CW net, come along and join in, and
Yeah.
and give us an operator for CW. My CW is so bad that it's like,
I was given a
But,
key by a really nice older ham years ago, and this is the kind I think they would train people in the military on back in the day. And he wanted me to have it. It's a J38, and I really love it. And you can take it apart.
It's a classic key.
It's a classic key, and but I don't. I'm a no-code ham. I guess that makes me what I am. But I think it's beautiful. I love it. There's been a contest going on, still going on. In fact, I can't really show you my screen of it, but if you look in the CW portion of the band, any band right now, they're kicking it.
Oh, it was full. It was full. The few times I had a radio on this weekend, the CW portion of the band was just loaded with contacts and people just having a grand old time. So I figured, CW contest. Looks like, did I freeze? Yes.
No, you didn't freeze to me, but got an interesting. I still see you going. Hopefully, we're still streaming. Okay, good.
I'm still
Interesting.
And I see Don has said he's going to be relaying for Paul. So
okay,
looks
so
like,
Paul is actually on 7219. So this is the podcast. You can take it with you and listen to it however you like to do it. I mentioned Farmer Rex. It took him 2 days to get through our last show. And he's out there working soybeans, corn, doing the deal that the farmers do. Bless his heart. So you can listen to this whenever you get to listen to it, which is the great thing about the audio and that sort of thing. It is live streamed out and captured on Sundays on the YouTube channel. So pick it. If you can be here, cool. If you want to listen to it like a lot more people do, is on the podcast. A comment that came in from Pat. I don't know if I posted it up there for the people, but I'll read it for folks at home. Whiskey 3, Romeo Golf Alpha says, talking microphones is almost like talking politics. You are brave. I'll tell you the twist, though. Here's the twist. Steve and I aren't going to talk about it. I think we said enough of, it's every room is different. Everybody's budget's different. Every microphone and voice is different. There's not so much to be said here. We can tell you what we use. I use a Sennheiser dynamic mic. I can tell that he's got a Heil mounted up on his. What model do you have there, Steve?
This one right here is the PR10.
Okay.
And then what I use on the air, which is behind me, that
Oh,
you'll
right.
see is
Okay.
the PR781. So those are the two.
PR781.
And then over the years, I have used the HC10. What is it? HC10 or HM10 is the. It has this particular one has the HC5 element, the rag chew element, and then I kind
Good
of
chew.
just migrated over to the HN12, which was the full range microphone element, and for a headset, I use this guy, which still has the HC5 element. So if I wear a headset, but. And each one of these microphones has their own characteristics of frequency response, and then the two that I primarily use are full band, wide range microphones. So there's a preference, and it's been kind of a migration, or a step by step by step. I've had this particular microphone the longest outside the stock microphones. When I used to use stock microphones a long time ago, what everybody did, and then all of a sudden microphones became an issue, and people were upgrading. And then I went with this guy, and then eventually went with the 12. Got to get it in camera here. And then went to the 781. And what next? Who knows? But right now I'm pretty satisfied with what we're running for the moment.
That's a Heil guy right there. It's Mr. Heil. And that's fine. You were going to say something? You said, but what's up?
But, everybody's different, and you will see tonight what everybody else, runs, because it's such a personal thing. I've seen people tailor their radios, their decision on radios, on what microphones they have and what accessories, the cables, because, every one of these mics is standard. This has a 4-pin XLR, but you have to have a cable that interfaces to the ICOM, Kenwood, Yaesu, or whatever. And I've seen people make their decision on, I'm not going to go with an ICOM because I've been using a Yaesu because all my accessories are Yaesu, and that's it. Others will say, the heck with it. They'll just get new cables along with the radio. So it's really, really a personal decision, and I'm looking forward to seeing, what I've seen. A few of the responses, and it's been pretty interesting so far.
Big cross section. If you have a question about audio, maybe we can tackle it. I've been around it it's just one of the things that I do, and I enjoy it. I love it. But like I said, every voice is different. Every room is different. You may have a different application. You may be trying to do a contesting. On this side, I'm using a sexy mic that makes me money and away from this. But so, that's not something I'd say go buy that unless you're making money doing audio. But for the ham radio side, there's settings for contesting. Maybe you want to take out the low end. You know what I mean? There's those kind of questions. But if you have that, put a Q in front of any question, drop it in the chat, and we'll try to pick it up. If not this week, we'll do it another week. But I want to focus tonight on the topic of microphones that hams use. We told you what we use, right? I use a dynamic mic. I've tried the PR40. I've done early podcasts with the PR40. Still have it in the drawer. There's other Shure microphones that everybody's got an SM58. They're, your $100 microphone. They're university, drop them off the truck, run over them in the truck, and they're still going to be on stage somewhere. But the trick here is what we're gonna share what you're using, and I think that's more important to hear what you're using. So the top 167 answers on the board. We'll be here till 2 a.m. And we'll just roll through. We'll roll through here. But I wanted to let you know that it is an important topic to a lot of people. And this is so hard. Before we get into this is really hard. And we can tell people, they want audio checks and how's this microphone sounding? And you hear people who've never met the other person and they're trying to set up their audio. And then what's their audio set up for? How are you receiving audio? Am I making my knobs based on what you are receiving? So everybody's radio could be set up a little different to receive. We're in crap conditions, and people are like, how's this audio? Like, I don't think tonight's the night to give you any feedback on this microphone. It's,
or they make a change, and it's like, how's it now? And it's like,
actually, you dropped a little bit.
I need a little bit more.
Yeah, I need a little bit more than that. You can tell A or B. Is it better on this one, or it's not like an eye check? And so those web SDR things are helpful too. And I've heard you
very helpful.
I've heard you tell people you could check, but these are checks. It's a very personal thing. When I set my audio up, I want to talk to people who know me, and I say, I want to get close to this. This is not affected. I'm not trying to run this through. This is straight in to you guys, and I just want something to handle my voice. It's the same on a dynamic microphone for me. I don't want tricks. If I could sound like James Earl Jones, hey, I would cut one of them off to sound like that, but I can't. It just won't work. But I want to be as natural as possible with my audio. But if you have a question, we can try to answer that here. But what we wanted to do was share what you guys use. So if anybody comes along in the future, you're the one that's going to be giving out what hams use. So anyway, we're going to see a lot of Mr. Heil microphones here. You've already spent several $100s. He's showed us what he's given to Bob. That's part of his Cancun vacation, whatever year that was. He sent Bob away. But he's going to turn up a lot, and he's a famous audio guy first. He was a ham radio guy, of course, as he developed these great audio systems for rock bands. But he's figured it out. He understands audio, and he's made microphones to complement. Okay, so we're going to see that a lot. Dave's using a Heil ICM. I don't know if that's ICOM for
That's
ICOM.
the ICOM. Yeah, for ICOM.
Okay, and we're going to see a range here, and there's no judgment here. There's people using different sorts of things. I heard a ribbon mic. Honest to God. A guy said he was on a broadcaster's net using a ribbon mic, and I was like, holy smokes. But
Nice.
to each their own. He sounded great. The IC7300 with a $25 mic. Here you go. It's the BM800. That is enough for November 2 X-Ray Kilo. Rick, he's a broadcasting fellow. Kilo Zero Romeo India Charlie uses a broadcast studio condenser mic. This here is a condenser mic. The microphone that comes with the 7610 and the 7300 are condenser microphones. A lot different than this sort of condenser, though. I would not put this on the radio for me. But the condenser mics that come with those ICOMs, man, they sound good.
Very good. Oh, man, it's incredible how good they sound.
I mean, when I saw a condenser, I think it's written right on them. It's like a condenser, and I'm like, what? This is wild. They sound really good. So if you're using that, those radios are out there, so many of them. If you're using that hand mic, no shame in that.
Right, exactly. And the nice thing about it, and one of the negatives on a condenser is very sensitive, so it picks up your background noise. If you got fans going on, it'll pick that up. But for some reason, ICOM got it nailed with the handheld mic, because I rarely hear a lot of background noise when talking with someone using just the standard hand mic in the 7300. So it's a great microphone for a stock microphone.
I have it here, and I think it's not on. It's actually on this radio back here. I use them both for this. The 9700, 7300 is my backup radio. But this is the microphone that comes with it, and I don't know if you can see it, but the hole in is like one little slice. I mean, maybe there's more, but it's really focused. It almost has like a little rooftop over it. Either way, you're right, and you can hear my amp. My amp is running right now. I don't have any heat on today. We got up to 66 today, so no heat in here. No fans needed, but you can hear that hum. That hum is coming through this condenser, but it's picking up my my amp. But it's okay. I feel it's going to work for us. It's okay. So going back to the board, I agree. I don't think a condenser like the one I'm talking into would be good for this at all, and I think you'd be advised by others, like Mr. Heil, would not advise you to do that. Dynamics seem to work really well. Don, our friend AE5DW, he's using the Heil PR40, which if I keep digging around here, there's the Heil
There it is.
PR40. For me, and I don't know anything, it's my favorite microphone that he used. The PR30 is also, or is it PR35? I think it could be the 35. I used to use on stages when I was tech, and I'd put that up there. You couldn't hear a lot of hand noise with it, and I liked that a lot. But the PR40, that's a broadcast mic. You got to turn the gain up. He might not like hearing that,
Yes.
but you got to turn that gain up. That's reality.
Or put a preamp behind it.
Yes, sir. Well, either way, you're still kind of turning up that gain, right? So, but that's fine. That's fine to do. Let's see what Richard says. He's between the Rode which is interesting. That's a podcasting microphone in the Heil Pro 6. Okay, so more Heil money, more Bob is rich. I got to write a letter to myself and ask him for some money. Okay, but yeah, he's made a product that people dig it, and a lot of people are using him on the radio, and a lot of people talk about it. Brian's using a Heil Pro headset. The idea for headsets, before we get to Steve, for me, I like headphones. These are light. I can wear them for a long time. They're over my ear completely. I like them a lot. A lot of those aviation-style headsets for, like, contests and stuff really feel like they're pulling me down. And it's just me. It's like my head is like, whoa. And over time, they feel heavy to me. It's not a judgment. It's just me. So I'm kind of more of a put it on the boom when you can kind of guy, or the handheld. This microphone, I get it. I totally get it. And I would try it. But some of those aviation ones, because they bulk out so big, you know, and I don't even have hair.
Well, they're for noise canceling, you know, the background noise within the cockpit. So they got to help get that noise reduction. They got a lot of tension that's pushing on your ears, and after a while, it gets to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
And the Pro 7 Heil headset, when I first saw it, reminded me of the David Clark headset used in aviation. And for you pilots, you know what I'm talking about.
I think they're totally cool.
They're awesome.
There's some headsets that are just heavier to me. Some are very light. Some are, you know, a little heavy. But I think because of the gear it's in there, maybe the mic, it's even bigger. It's a little bulky for me. But I would try one. I just don't want to drop the money on one of those. Like, I would try it out. But I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything, guys. But it's all personal. It's very personal. Here's Steve. He's old school right here. He's got the Turner, which is a classic microphone. You'd see them on You'd see them on a lot of older radios, and of course, what some people call the lollipop mic, the D104. And I got one of those too, Steve. And I work it.
And
it sits with Cal Ripken.
Even Heil has a retrofit microphone element to go with that.
Of course he
does. With a transformer to take the low impedance microphone, make it high impedance for the radio that it goes for. So it's the HC 5.1. It's available from DX Engineering. It's like $69. So there it is.
Another head for the D104, and they sound different, guys. They sound different. This mic and the one over here I just showed you behind me, same element, different sounds. And this microphone here has a bit of an amplifying deal on the bottom. You can kind of turn it up. And some people don't like that. I mean, look, you know, we're not talking politics here. It is really what you really dig, what you're willing to spend, and understanding that there's so much space that you can go. Your microphone may be out to the edges here, but your radio might be here. You know what I mean? You're only going to get so much of that audio quality through, depending on the radio you're talking about. Again, so Steve is old school there. He's also made a CB contact with the man in black, Johnny Cash. Ask Steve about working Johnny Cash from his limousine. That's people
AZT,
don't know.
Steve.
That's AZT. W3AZT, Steve Miller there. Joe, he uses a newer. They make a lot of interesting products. They make booms. They make lighting. They do all sorts of stuff. He's using what they call the NW800. Here's another Heil, the PR781 from Perry. Eric's using a headset with cheap, effective, and it sounds great. It's the W2ENY. I don't know that one, but okay, works fine. Frank, he says, let's see, he's got a couple microphones here. For his Yaesu, he uses a Heil GM5. He's got a Shure 522. Let's see, the Kenwood is using an MC43 and a Shure 522. So there you go. More Heil money from Joe. He said, I'll give you, what'd you say, Paul? Paul. I'm sorry. I'm listening to Paul and one ear. What'd you say there? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
it was nice. No, I like his collection there.
I love microphones just in general. I love them too much. Where's Joe? Joe's got the Heil Gold Line, vintage. I like the fin, the Heil fin. Look of it, you can turn the color on. It's pretty sexy. I don't own one of those, though. Mark's got the Heil Pro headset. Thomas, a stock mic for the 7300, and it works great. Yes, sir, it does. No bones about it. They sound great. Philip's got the Heil ICM BG. All right, showed a picture of it there. He's got that little stand or a little holder there for his stand. Good job. Another Heil ICM. All right, that's it. I'm writing. I got to stop the show now. I'm going to write to Bob. Dear Bob, please send money. Okay, got it. Where were we? Scott says the one that came with the radio, just fine. Just fine there. Timothy, he's using a OEM mic. Not sure what that is exactly. Ed's using a Heil 781, and you hear these. You hear a lot of people talking on, well, I'm using this. I'm using a Heil. Just like amps. Well, maybe we'll ask the question about amplifiers one day, and then I'll get tons of crap for it. Like, you son of a bitch, 100 watt. What you talking about amps? You can't talk about amps. But,
we can.
But you can hear that. You hear a Meritron. You hear this one. You hear that one. You whatever. John's got a Heil 781G. Jack.
Ooh, the gold.
The gold.
The gold.
Let's see. Michael's using the stock mic that comes with the radio. Very good. Joel also, or Joel Jones, using a stock Yaesu mic. All good.
Yeah, very good.
Bob's using a Behringer XM1 or 1800S on his newer. Okay, he's got a newer boom. There's the booms I was mentioning. Newer makes a lot of interesting products, from lighting that you may have seen during the heart and thick of the beginning and middle of the pandemic. Lots of people were buying little lights, ring lights. Curtis, inexpensive BM800. We've seen that one earlier here. That's probably another. Oh, somebody's wishing me happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you, David. Stop that. Okay. Appreciate it. Let's see who else we got here. Here's a Heil ICM. Paul's got the Heil Gold Line. Of course he would.
Stock mic on the Yaesu FD857. The
Good
MD100.
reports.
First time. Okay, we're finally starting to see it. I've talked to a lot of guys who've used them on the air. They sound really good. Oh, look at that old guy.
Okay.
The Kenwood MC60. Yeah, that's been around a long time.
Another stock mic on the IC735. There's a Kenwood MC60. It does look beautiful. I just like that the holders are there. They're just so cool, man. I love microphones. I just can't. Santa Dan. PR22. Santa Dan. Haven't spoken to him in a while. He runs 1,000 watts in his mobile. Deal with it.
Dan the man.
So,
another MD100. Yes.
Rusty. He's got an EV RE27. I know the Electro Voice RE20s are pretty good. I think 27's in line with that. That's about a $400 mic. He's not effing around. And the Heil PR40, that's probably a $320 microphone. The Yaesu MD100. So Rusty is stacked and loaded to give you great audio. Don, he's got a Heil BM10 headset. Kenneth, so this is all about showing you what hams are using. It is not me telling you what to do. I just hate those kind of things where they're telling you what you have to do.
And go back to Mark there, or Don there. There you go, Don. Yeah, he talks about the headset. So that BM10 is a very lightweight headset that you were talking about. And then the HC4 element is that element, the early elements that Bob made, that and the 5, that their frequency response was kind of really narrow for microphones. The HC4 had their pass band, or the frequency response was from 600 to about 6K, but at about 2 kilohertz, it had a 10 dB bump. That was part of the microphone element, the way it just responded. So that's why they made it the DXer Dream, because it really boosted that 2K portion of your voice to kind of punch through. And those HC4s, HC5s were were early elements that were around before we started getting parametric equalizers built into the radios, or people started using outboard equalizers. Now you can just take a full range microphone and then make it whatever you want. I want to make it an HC4. You can just take your 2K mid on your mixer there and just crank it up, and then boom, now you got a bunch of 2K, and away you go. In fact, I could probably do it myself here and really start bringing it up a bit, and just see, there we go. Now we're just it will punch right through the through the noise, and then so we'll bring that down a little bit, and there we go. I'll leave it about that. So yeah, there you can do that with a mixer, but before, back in the day, we had elements, and Bob kind of tackled that. So Bob was kind of early into the game when, we were all using stock microphones, and that was it. And, here comes Bob and says, hey, we could do something better.
Yeah.
And he did something better, and hence everybody's,
And now,
utilizing his product.
Dear Bob, please send money. I don't know after that line what I'll write, but probably seriously. And good for him. I mean, he's 82 years old now, and had a birthday recently in October, and he's an important figure in broadcasting and in concert audio. I mean, in fact, I got his concert book here. It's old. I showed it to him one day, and he was like, where did you get that? I said, mind your business and give me some money. Something like that. It was something like that. Don's using the Heil BM10, and Kenneth's got, let's see what he's using. Whatever came with his FT875D, so it's probably a handheld mic. Ann, hello to Ann. She's using the Heil Pro Set Plus. There's a PR781, also Heil, from November 6 JRZ. Phil, he's using the RE27. That's an Electro Voice dynamic mic. A bit expensive, but hey, if you want to try it, do what makes you happy. More Heil, Pro 7. Let's see, Electro Voice 664. Not familiar with that. Billy uses a stock mic, and on and on. Griff's using a stock mic. There's a Heil Sound here, the PR77D, the PR30. I like the PR35, I think is what it is. I joked one day with him and said, are you going to make the Heil PR45? He just laughed. I think he's probably good. He's probably good. Rhea uses several. She's got a couple of things she uses while she's operating. AKG, which is higher end. That's a nice microphone. The AT20 20 on a boom. Don't know that. The BM80, 800. That's come up. Zoom and all that sort of stuff.
Radio Sport M350. Yep.
That's one I'd like to try. The Radio Sport. I've heard good things about them. And again, it's like I'm not allergic to the fact to use it, but they do cost a few $100. And I'd probably need to try these headsets for comfort. And I recommend anybody who's doing any kind of radio work, long-term mixing, editing, contesting, whatever you're doing, it's good to try on the headsets and see how they do you. You're going to be all right, because some of them was just way over, man, at least for me. Patrick's on the Heil Pro 7. Clint's got the old stock microphone of the Yaesu. Many people running the stock, many people using different varieties of Heils, and we've seen them here. Sidecar Steve has showed us 3 of them tonight. I'm looking for a couple other different things. Heil's obviously represented quite well here tonight with his Pro Set. PR781, Yaesu MH31.
Yep, that's the stock Yaesu microphone for a lot of their lines.
All right, we're just scrolling now. Here's a Electro Voice 664. I'd like to at least see that one. Uncle Paul is using. He's running our net at the moment if you're watching in real time. He uses the Heil PR781, and I bet you I can show that to you. There it is.
There it is.
He's on a Heil Boom, too. More money for Heil. Dear Bob, please send money. Please. Question mark?
Please.
Pretty please. Thank you. Right into file chapter. What is it? File 13, not chapter 13. Good God. Okay. Let's take a few more and see where we are. And this was just to give you an idea. There's the D104 we talked about. Now, some people are not in favor of running that. And I think it depends. I use one on my Drake. I would try something else on my Drake, but like you said, I'd need some turnarounds and some kind of adapters. And before I did that, I ended up upgrading to the 7300, and I just never did. So we also got the Shure Beta 58. Everybody's got at least a couple of those around. Solid microphone. They've been in front of everybody. Janis Joplin to Who You Hear Today. MD70. Anything sticking out to you, Steve, that... as we roll through?
It's nice to see this, the era Audio Technica and then Yamaha CM500. That's an interesting one. But I love the variety. There's the Shure SM58 right there from Randy. And,
the RE20, that's a $400 microphone. You do have to ride that gain up a little bit, just in general, even recording with, but it sounds great. It sounds
we haven't
great.
seen any Sennheisers yet.
No Sennheisers. Just mine. You'll hear about that at the top of the hour. Steve and I will be doing the post-show air check where we take your calls and we also do that streamed. I got an email about, hey, it was like, to paraphrase, have you thought about putting the post-show air check out with the podcast? Put that out too. And I'm like, if you care about that stuff. Because what I'm discovering is that a lot of the podcast audience, which is what we've catered up until about a year and a couple months ago, they still listen. It's so it's like, hey, can you put that out too? I'm like, if that's what you want. So I don't know if people want that. I don't know if they want that, but if they did and if it made sense,
let us know.
Let
if
me
you
know.
want it, we'll provide it.
It's easy enough to do. It's recorded, captured, and shared on YouTube. If you don't want to go there, people get hung up on stuff. You know what I mean? They don't want to do. Mm-hmm. It's like you with the Facebook. How many years have I known you now? Wouldn't do Facebook. Nope. Yep. And I get it now. I'm like, you're kind of right. Zucky is a little off the wagon a little bit sometimes. And so people don't do it. People may not like Google. People may not like YouTube. I don't know what it is. But if that's something we start at the top of the hour, to each their own. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good here. But top of the hour, Steve and I will do the post-show air check. We'll take calls. We also stream it out to YouTube, but it doesn't go to the audio side unless you want it. It's easy enough to do. Just let me know. Okie dokie. Should we do a couple more, or are we checking with the boys? We can see the guys are working there real quick.
Let's see what we got from the Discord list.
Oh, very nice. That's very nice. You ask and you shall receive.
We have a Discord server, so if you haven't, if you're like me, not so much in love with the Zucky, and try Discord. We got a pretty active group there, so just come and join us on the Discord group, and it's pretty lively at times, and we do the air check every day, the weather check every day.
Do a weather check. It's it's old man stuff. I think it's not old man stuff. It's like, what's your weather there? It's kind of interesting though at this time of year to see how the weather's changing for people. And, so it's just, but it's a way that we can engage with each other. We kind of tell each other. It's almost like a check-in, and we go on our day. So it's not heavy. It's pretty lighthearted.
And
people
then
are there.
We throw in a few little, pictures from work or what we're doing, like the Pack Out series I just did.
Oh, I love that.
A group of
I love those Milwaukee stackables, man. I felt it move when you were, I'm like, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? Another picture? This is like 3 or 4 pictures of this. How many stackables do you have? I needed time alone with the Milwaukee cases. Oh, my God. I love that. But over at Discord, I just put it in our chat. If you're interested in joining the Discord, everything's free. And at some point, I'll get a handle on how to actually run the thing. I had permissions in weird places, but I think I got it okay. Everybody's chill. We have a pastor on our team. I mean, Steve and I are trying to get to the next level. Okay, and we need an onboard.
And we're going to bring you along, so we're just kind of leading the way for you, and then we'll just kind of bring you along.
We've got a farmer, we've got a pastor, and we've got a couple of nitwits, but you guys will be fine. You'll raise the bar, right? This guy and that guy. Anyway, looking at our Discord, we got a first timer. He's November 2 X-Ray Delta Delta. He uses only stock mics for his radios. Maybe I'll look for one for the 7300 and enter the contest. But you know what? I don't think. And he's talking about we're giving away $1,000. Jesus, we got a long way. We didn't even mention it. Giving away $1,000. So okay, good. You got it right. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well,
it's only $1,000.
Well, that's $1,000. Don't worry about it. But you should enter to win it. We'll talk about that in a minute. So when he says enter the contest, he's probably talking about us giving away grand starting November 28th, guys. So please check the website. I'll show it to you here when we get done. But yeah. And you know what? The 7300, as we mentioned, it's got a condenser mic and sounds beautiful. You're going to want to set your mic gain up. There's a whole process, and there's some good videos out there to help you with your ALC, getting yourself set up with your microphone. There's a process, this good audio. But that microphone is nothing. Unless you just want to have hands-free, that microphone will serve you fine. Chris, my VHS stuff has a stock DTMF mic, but his HF came with an older Heil HM10, so that's what he's using. Don actually is using the stock mic on his 7300. It's a good one. He's also got a Heil Pro Set Elite 6 for ICOM. Okay, Jocelyn, our friend in Ohio, he's got the IC 7300 with a Heil Pro set or an ICOM SM30. Pastor Joe, there he is, the one that's helping us get to the next level because we seem to always mess it up. He's using the Heil Pro Set Elite for ICOM. Ray, this gets pretty thick too, just going through the HM 219. Scotty's he's an audio guy. He's using Shure SM7B, which is a very nice mic and has been around for decades. He's got that for his Yaesu. He's got an Astatic D104. That's the lollipop mic I showed you, but it's technically called the D104. He's using that on his Yaesu. SM7 goes through the mic splitter first, simultaneous feed. He's geeking out on the audio tip, but you can. Yes, I add one click of compression. We'll get into that another time. Bob's using the Heil Pro 6. Jocelyn seems to say he says something about most people using Heils. Ben was looking for boom alternatives. So you see audio is something that's happening in our Discord as well. And I think it just goes on from there. Some other comments that came through. Stock mic for now, says Kurt. Well, there you are. Let me show the fellas who are out there working hard. You can tell they're working hard. Look at Dwayne. He's like, yeah, I'm chilling out here, working hard. Yeah.
Working hard. There you go,
Good
Dwayne.
to have it. Good to have you there. Uncle Paul is he's working there. His Heil microphone. Let's see if we can bring him up here a little bit. Oh, there's Dub's music. Not a ham, but he might be at one point. All right, there's his microphone. That's what he's using, and got those sick beats. So check him out on YouTube because I enjoy it. But don't let him steal my song here because this is my theme right here. This makes me want to look around. I need some breaking glass or something like that. Anyway, that's my jam right there. Anyway, what did we miss? What did we miss tonight? We're going to be, in a few minutes from now, we're going to go on the air. We're going to do the post-show air check. Steve and myself will be taking calls. We'll get the handoff from Paul. Anything else you wanted to mention about microphones? It's such a broad topic. We can always do this more. We can go in detail a little bit more. How to set up your radios. It's tricky. Go ahead.
Yeah, that can. That's a long and drawn-out process. To do it right. And so as Christian brought up, get a hold of someone that knows you and test on the air. If another way is to utilize the web SDRs that are out there. The Northern Utah website is WebSDR is a great site, along with the one in Half Moon Bay here on the West Coast, and there's probably others on the East Coast. But the Utah one is a great receiver, and and there is a way to record from there. So just if you don't have anyone that you can work with, then find a clear frequency. That both the receiver, the SDR receiver, and you're clear. Make a couple of test transmissions, and the web SDR will pick it up and then record it. And then once you stop the recording, it will generate a little WAV file or MP3 file. You download it, play it back, listen to yourself, make your adjustments, just keep going back and forth. Make it to where you feel you're comfortable with the sound that you want to be portrayed out onto the radio, because what I think is good and what you think is good are going to be two different things. And if I think, your audio sounds great or sounds good, when you're asking me or Christian, we're probably going to listen to it. Is it distorted? Is it clipping? But we don't know your natural voice in person, so sometimes I might say, well, I think you might need a little more mids, you might need a little more lows, or cut out the lows, bring down the mids or whatever. I don't know, because I don't know you, and the only way I know you is over the air at the moment. But
and most people,
so there's some tools out there.
If you can find somebody I think that's the trick.
Mm-hmm.
And
or even as simple as just take your buddy, take an iPhone or a telephone, and just hit the audio record, just the voice mute. Just take an audio recording, just listening through the speaker, and then texting that to your buddy is one way. I mean, there's multiple ways of doing it, and in fact, you and I did it many years ago, and it was like and I just went, oh, that's what I want. That's the sound I want, and I left it at that. And so there's many ways of doing this and tackling it. So
yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Recording, send it out, listen. And I remember just telling Steve, I just want to sound like me. Like, I don't want to, I know that sounds weird, but I don't want to be affected. I don't want to have a lot of anything, but, that's fine. I just want to sound like me. So having a microphone that picked up those qualities that could handle the lower end of my voice was a trick. Getting it to squeeze through the narrow passage of the Drake TR7 was a challenge. There wasn't a whole lot I could do. I wasn't, it was a trick. So it was almost just, open up the mic gain. This was on the TR7. Open it all the way up, dial in the D104 a little bit more. But anyway, I hope this helps some of you. Give us a like, a thumbs up, and a subscribe to the podcast wherever you get those. I need to share with you an important giveaway that we're going to be doing. It came up last week, sort of out of the blue, but if you go to 100wattsinawire.com, you can learn about this. I wrote it out to tell you. $1,000. I think October 31st, we got Halloween. It sort of kicks off the giving season. And so last week, we announced we're going to be giving away over 4 weeks, $250. All you have to do is go to your favorite ham radio store. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter. We're not aligned to any of them, so you can put whatever. I'd like you to go shopping, put up to $250 worth of gear in your cart, take a screenshot of your cart, send it to me in an email. Let me put it up here on the screen. My email will be on the screen for those who are watching. It's Christian@100wattsinawire.com. Otherwise, I'm good on QRZ. But the email is there at the website as well. So take a screenshot, send the screenshot with your shipping address. This is an important one that a few people missed, and we just had to double back to get it because, that's going to be important. And don't buy this stuff. I just want you to put it in the cart and take a screenshot of what you would buy with $250. You're going to go into a random drawing. Stateside folks only, though, because mailing these off could be tricky, so we're going to do it here on the domestic United States operator side. And you can enter up to 4 times. That's fine. 1 per week, but 1 call sign only will win. 4 different call signs will win over the 4 weeks. November the 28th is the first drawing. And we got 50 some, I think, with just kind of putting the word out there. People were taking screenshots of their carts, sending it in with their shipping address. That's all you have to do. There's no catch. There's no bait and switch. It's the giving season. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to give away. If I pull your name, I'm going to take your cart and I'm going to buy the stuff in the cart and we're going to send it to you. That's it.
Easy.
Steve, I noticed you sent 16 carts. And I have to tell you, I was like, I don't know how.
I couldn't make up my mind. I mean, it's just kind of like,
I just got to tell you, you cannot win. Like, you can't win. It's like you just, I'm like, wow, he wants that. One was like a radio that had a big elephant sitting on it. He's like, I would like this. It's like my call sign on a big blanket. No, it's just that easy. There's no tricks. It's just more appreciation. It's about appreciation. Seeing what you need. What's it going to take to get you on the air? What's it going to take you to get your station up and running? And a good way for us to kind of, engage with the people. And that's all I got to say about that. I think we've got so many open questions about audio. I'm happy to explore it further in upcoming shows. If you have an idea, drop me a line as well. What do you want to hear about? Amplifiers, But talking to you, the people, what you use is what's important. What did we miss, Steve, as we get ready to do the old handoff from Uncle Paul?
I think we got it covered tonight.
We did it? We did it?
I think we did it.
Here's what you do if you're here with us now. If you're listening after the show, we appreciate you and love you, of course, for your support, the ongoing support. Join us on Sunday if you want to watch the show being recorded. We always do that on the YouTube channel. For the folks that are here tonight, that are visiting with us in live real time, open up another browser. Steve and I will rejoin a stream that's just going to YouTube. At this point, unless you want that audio and you want to listen to it after the fact, then I can send it out. But it's going to be exclusively on YouTube until otherwise we know that you dig it and you want to hear it. But we're going to take calls on the air. We're going to actually do ham radio in just a few minutes. So open up another browser, get ready to watch that one, and get your amp tuned up. We're coming for you.
We're done talking about ham radio. Now we're going to go out and do ham radio.
About it. Take care of yourselves and each other. And by all means, if you can, in this crazy world, this nutty nut place, but this beautiful country we live in, please try and stay above the noise. See you here soon, Steve. 7-3.
See you in a bit. All right, 7-3, everyone.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsindawire.com.